Ladies and gentlemen, this was supposed to be the chess match of a lifetime here. We spent all week talking about it. Everything about this game led you to believe that was the case. Two teams that are very contrasting in play style, yet absolute genius in scheme. You even had the potential history in the making. The rematch, storylines, game plans. Top to bottom looking at this head-to-head.
It would have been a better storyline if Jason Kelce was still there. But, still a great one. Jalen Hurts coming back, being the best player in the last Super Bowl. Then the next year, everybody doubted him, talking about how he was dookie, and, you know, now he came back and fried. Love to see it. While Patrick Mahomes, the next GOAT, didn't come and play that game.
I was fully ready for a game for the ages. But, if you want to talk about game plan...
Huge play. Now the Eagles get it back. We're going to run some clock. Or maybe throw the dagger. Hurts going deep.
Touchdown.
Devontae Smith.
Devontae. But he can't pass though, right? He can't pass
Super
the ball,
Bowl 59. It was complete embarrassment on national television. There's no other way to put it. You had the offensive mastery and execution. The suffocation and overwhelming from the defensive front line. There is so much to get into from top to bottom in this game. But also, we need to ask the question, how so quickly did it get to this point? Opening drive, 4th and 2 for...
Bro, it was good for so long. Can't ask how do we get to this point. We was good for 3 years. When we went there the first time, next year we was good. We just fell off towards the end. And then the third year, this year, last year that just passed, we was good all 3 years. It's just because everybody didn't expect that to happen. We had the best team.
Philadelphia, positioned squarely at the 50-yard line, and just 6 plays into the game, you could already tell Hurts and Kellen Moore did their homework.
Hurts from the gun, back to pass, going deep, far sideline. A.J. Brown. There's a penalty too, but Brown with a big play over McDuffie, and let's see if it holds.
Now this 4th down conversion, negated by penalty. And I'll leave it up to you guys in the comments if that warrants a flag or not. But it's not about the call, it's the detail and attack from Philly early on in this game. Trent McDuffie and press coverage. You want 2 focus points that alter the course of the Super Bowl? You don't have to look any further. Kansas City's defensive coordinator Steve Spagnuolo's philosophy was simple. Overload the box in between the hashes. Prioritize limiting Saquon's gaps in cutback lanes.
Start from the 31 here. It's Barkley up the middle, and there is not much there so far.
They did stop that, but they expected shit to be sweet. They stopped Saquon from having a game. But I tell you, my man Hurts was playing out of his mind. The year we went to the Super Bowl, and the next year he was alright, but he could still pass the ball. Like, I don't know why everybody want to downgrade his passing ability. He don't got the arm like Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen, but he could get the ball to his guys. When you got A.J. Brown out there and Devontae Smith, he throw it up from in perfect positions so they could get the ball. They could play a play for the ball. It don't make no sense why. Alright.
Early Chiefs doing a nice job.
And probably at the top of the list, remove A.J. Brown from the equation. I mean, we're talking shading 2 backers at him, bracketing him, even willingly giving up the underneath action if you absolutely need to. Their defensive principles for 60 minutes were clear as day. Force the hand of Jalen Hurts into an abundance of simple 3-step drop concepts and make him beat you solely from his reads and progressions.
And then I saw something where they was talking about Jalen Hurts don't know how to identify blitz and shit. Alright, bro.
Blitz coming. It's picked up. Hurts going deep. Has a man. He's
Jahan Dotson
down there. He's in. Touchdown, Philadelphia.
Guys need
now technically
touchdown, but still
not a touchdown. But this still marked the beginning of the end for Kansas City. A 3-by-1 trips left formation out of the gun. You've got a hitch, stick, and go route on your strong side, while McDuffie is shading A.J. Brown completely out of the picture. And with Jalen Hurts recognizing their defensive alignment, you make or break this play by deciphering the second level of the field. If it's a backer coverage concept, you're just playing the leverage game on the boundary. If it's a single or even a double interior blitz, and that safety is rapidly crashing to his assignment.
And I always have said, since watching Jalen Hurts a lot this year, when that ball comes out of his hands quickly, that's when he's at his best, just like he did in that moment.
But that's the thing about this game. Jalen Hurts, he wasn't quick to the release by any stretch of the imagination. It was actually his third longest time to throw from the pocket of the entire season, which has also arguably been one of his largest criticisms from the media. He hangs onto the football too long, not decisive enough, draws too many sacks. Every individual dig that Jalen Hurts has heard one time or another in this regard.
Hurts looking deep, not there. Now it's going to flow up for Barkley, hangs on!
It couldn't have been further from the truth on the biggest stage. Now, Kansas City, they love man coverage. So in dropbacks where it was perceived that this was going to be the case, or even if it was just a disguise, extended route running. If you want to get straight to the point, that is what dictated offensive success in this game. Take full advantage of their wide receiver one tunnel vision, not to mention have time to locate the pockets in their shells and coverages, and of course, the golden rule, maintain the pocket and edges in pass protection. That angle of this game cannot be overstated. Just look at the 60-minute clinic that we watched on the opposite side of the football.
So here's Mahomes. What's he got left?
Killing
Pressure
them
again. Stacked. Ball is out.
My man 52 gave up, bro. He said it was nothing I could do.
What's he got left?
Look at my man. He said, "Ah, shit." Come on, man. Williams out there.
Pressure again.
Get into it.
Ball is out. And the Eagles have it. Milton Williams with a strip sack. Philadelphia takes over.
Later this week, I think I'm going to make an entire video.
We didn't blitz not once. 0 blitz. It's a fucking masterpiece.
Solely focused on the defensive showing and scheme from Big Fangio in this game. The speed to power dominance, the suffocation, the one-on-one wins across the board.
Josh Sweat.
And flip back over to the front line of Philadelphia. Not only is a factor like that additional pocket time at a premium for concepts like extended route running, but go back to the beginning of this action. It's almost a necessity given some of KC's defensive tactics.
Here's Hurts to throw. Got a lot of time. Over the middle, he goes wide open. It's Dallas Goedert. He's got a connection and a first down into Chiefs territory.
Now, this was a drastic point going into this game. Nobody rotates their safeties or disguises their coverages more than a Steve Spagnuolo secondary. This was actually the primary reason for Hurts' only mistake of the game, causing that first quarter interception. But let's also make this clear. Immediately following that miscue, I don't think you can find better execution in reading a secondary. Philly breaks the huddle, and Jalen Hurts instantly identifies a too-high shell. He then
said Jalen Hurts. You don't see nobody else there identifying and telling him, whoa, whoa, whoa. It's Jalen Hurts identifying that.
And goes to signal for Devontae Smith to swing the field, creating a 2-by-2 split out of the gun. And he's had his eyes locked on safety Jaden Hicks ever since they got up to the line. Now, that simple action of motion with Devontae Smith, he recognized that it caused Hicks to tail, which ultimately, in most situations, tips the actual coverage. If he sinks to the deep third level of the field, you know he's bluffing. If he crashes to the underneath with Devontae on the boundary, that's the best tight window receiver in football with no safety help.
3rd and 7. They rush 4. Hurts going for A.J. Brown. Back shoulder.
A.J. first.
Beauty from A.J. Brown. And a first down for Philly.
Manipulation was clearly the bread and butter of this defense the entire season. And recognizing that, Kellen Moore and Jalen Hurts pretty much just said, why not beat them at their own game? You can even see this when you shift back over to the schematic approach with Saquon. Now sure, production and numbers is one thing, but don't fool yourself into thinking he didn't impact every snap of this game.
Coach Spagnuolo this week, he said, we've got to make sure we build this flat wall from behind. I want to make sure I see the jersey numbers of all my guys. I don't want them turning their shoulders.
That's because they was so fixated on stopping him. So fixated on stopping him that everything else was open. Wide open. He had an average game. He had like, what, 50 yards, 60 yards? If that, 40 yards. I feel like 25 rushes. He ain't break off for no 50s and 60s, and nah, he don't think he even had a touchdown that game.
I mean, look at this play action concept. 3 backers flat-footed in the box a second after the ball is snapped.
They were so they didn't know what to do.
On a third-level pass design that also includes a dual chip and leak to the flat when their personnel panics.
You got 2 people wide
How that action ends up resulting in a 15-yard pickup. It begins with the threat this man poses. And that's not even just restricted to the run game. There's some of the many crucial blitz pickups in pass pro that created opportunities. If you tried to sift your way through the film and find a rare sequence where there wasn't a loaded box of backers to limit some of Saquon's run lanes, they were still pulling out counters to catch Spags off guard.
Design run, Hurts. It's a great block from Barkley. And then surges his way down to the 45. Picks up 9.5. Barkley with a good lead block there, acting like the fullback.
At one point or another, it just felt like this was turning into a cat and mouse game of schematic jazz from Philly. But shove scheme and design aside for a second, what about when they went off script?
3rd and 5. Blitz coming. Hurts in trouble. Senses that he's going to run for a first down and a lot more. Hurts sliding out across the 40. His 6th sense kicked in there as he was about to be hit, and he turned it into a 16-yard run.
This is 6th sense.
That is ultimately what made the difference. And this is ultimately my favorite play from this game. A 3rd and 5 just inside the 25. The motion out of the bunch from Devontae Smith identifies the coverage. And then a hard count tips the strong side blitz. But the thing is, it's not a blitz. It's actually a 3-man rush with a spy, but Jalen Hurts obviously doesn't know that yet. So, in a matter of 2, maybe 3 total seconds in his drop back, he distinguishes both backers by spy and coverage assignment, scans through his progressions to find no openings downfield.
When they cover well in the secondary and he feels any space, he takes that and there's nobody going to catch him. Bolton's trying to track him down. He knows what he needs for a first down in situations like that.
And maybe most impressive in all of this, somehow feels and reacts perfectly to the backside pressure in a collapsing pocket. But this scramble wasn't the only example. It was 60 minutes of mastery that we witnessed, constantly recognizing their tendencies and adjusting their actions and pass protection based on blitz pickups.
But it starts with protection. You got Mekhi Becton giving Hurts enough time.
Having the presence of mind and waiting for routes to fully develop before actually taking that open space right at the cut point of his receivers. But speaking of open space, this was a pretty common theme in this game as well. Now, when a team's defensive principles have to factor in concepts like spies, blitz packages, safety rotations, we could keep going if we wanted to. The big play downfield, it just feels like it's eventually going to bite you.
Huge play. Now the Eagles get it back. Looking to run some clock. Or maybe throw the dagger. Hurts going deep. For it all. Devontae Smith. He has got it. Touchdown.
I'm so glad.
And ironically enough, what Kansas City hung their hat on this entire season is exactly what Philly used to put the final nail in the coffin. I mean, even in real time watching this, it felt like one of the best all-around performances from a quarterback that we've seen on the big stage. Now, the numbers absolutely back that up, but I want to hear what you guys have to say about this game.
You see that? Best by QB in 25 years. And you're right. I don't know what the fuck this means. I know this means defensive back. I don't know what EPA. But it says best by QB in the last 25 years. That's all that fucking matters. Last 25 fucking years, he's been the best. But he's not a good quarterback. He's a game manager. Fuck out of here.
So please, let me know what you think in the comments. Subscribe to never miss another video here. I appreciate y'all more than anything.
You know what he's talking about. He make it sound smart. That's my Super Bowl MVP right there. And we going back next year. Leave that.